What's up, guys? So, sorry about the lack of videos lately. Lots of things have been happening. I actually moved. So Kolokra is the channel. I made the channel for my boys and my family and I, really, to start riding together. I grew up riding dirt bikes, and then kind of, life got busy and you just stopped riding, and my boys were getting older and older, and I wanted to share something with them like that. Didn't have to be dirt bikes, but something like that. Well, ended up being dirt bikes, so I made the channel to kind of just vlog our rides and us having fun, and that's really all the intention of the channel is. If other people enjoy it, then that's great, but really I'm just making these videos so that I can look back on them in 20 or 30 years when I'm sitting in my hospital bed somewhere and I can relive the glory days and remember all the fun. Well, it started out just being for me and my boys, and then my brother, who I used to ride with when I was a kid, he hurt his leg pretty bad on a dirt bike while I was serving a mission for my church. He hurt his leg really bad, and he's like, it's pretty much swore off motorcycles from then on. He's like, I'm not riding bikes anymore. So I didn't think that Garrett would ever ride again, but lo and behold, about a year and a half ago, he grabbed a KTM 300, and then the channel kind of morphed into me and him a lot, along with me and my boys and my wife and my daughter, who just returned from a mission. She's yet to ride, but she's gonna get a chance here soon. Anyway, sorry about the lag in the videos lately, and as you can tell, I know I'm elephant in the room. I'm not riding a dirt bike right now. We moved, so we were in St. George, and I got offered a job opportunity up in Heber City, and so that's where we're living now. And so the last few months I've been just swamped with the new job and moving, and everyone knows how much fun that can be. But this is my first video back for a while, and so Garrett's still, Garrett, which is he has been half of Kolokra the last little while. He's the one that's been doing those race vlogs with me, and he's still in St. George. I'm up here in Heber, but we're gonna try to get together, a few times a year and still go riding. He'll come up here in the summertime, and I'll go down there in the wintertime. I sold my Husky, and I bought this baby. I love this bike. I've always wanted a street bike. This is a 2004 Kawasaki VN 2000. It's a 2000cc bike. Whoa, see me. Hate when people creep out and they're not looking at you. It's like, lady, I need to know that you see me, because she was looking that other way the whole time. Anyway, check this gorgeous scenery, guys, out. This is Heber Valley. So right now we're up on top of, Heber's over there. We're up on top of Heber Valley on the west side. We're in Midway, and this is a famous, or an expensive and really nice resort right there that we just passed. Just gorgeous up here. I grew up along the Wasatch Mountains, so it's kind of nice to come back. Anyway, I'm going all over the place, but hopefully the video channel just kicks back up a little bit. I am between dirt bikes right now, but I am Garrett's got a couple of bikes, so I'm borrowing one of his for the time being. I'm borrowing his YZF 250, and you know what? Let's talk about that for a minute. This video is going to be all over the place, but let's talk about a 250 4-stroke. I mean, guys, I am a big guy. You guys that have watched the channel know that I'm a big guy. I'm currently, I've lost some weight. I'm currently like 270 right now. A few years ago, I was close to 400 pounds. I've lost a lot of weight. Dirt biking was a big part of that. You know, I was just getting too sedentary in life and letting the pounds just come on, and my body, you know, if I let it, it'll just. It's very efficient at storing energy. Let's just put it that way. So, anyway, I'm 270. I'm still a big guy, and Garrett was here a couple weeks ago when we were riding, and we went up and did some single track over on American Fork Canyon, and that is just, it is amazing to me how much power even a 254 stroke has. Now, this one's it's a YZF 250. I can't remember the year. It's a 09 or something like that. It's got I believe it's got the motocross suspension, or not suspension, but gearing, the transmission. And so the first gear is really tall. The second gear is relatively short compared to the first gear. And so it's not conducive to the type of riding that Garrett and I like to do. Single track, technical, you know, tight, steep, rocky, you know, just stuff that you got to really kind of pick your way through. That first gear is way too tall for me. Now, when he gets on it, it's a lot better because he's about 80 pounds, well, 100 pounds lighter than I am. But even for a big guy on a 250, it does almost everything I want to do just fantastically. It's not the bike I would buy because I like doing the technical stuff too much, and it doesn't do that very well. But again, you know, I bought that 501, Husky 501, and it was a great bike, and I love that motor. But guys, too much power. The only time I really used that power was in sand or washes. And I will admit that bike just totally excelled in washes. You hit a wash in that bike and you're just in heaven. Anyway, jumping all over the place. So this is the first street bike that I've ever bought, and it is a monster. You know, it's a cruiser. It's 2,000 cc's, 2 liters. Right? So, I mean, a lot of cars. We just bought my wife a runaround car. It's a Hyundai Elantra, great little car. But I think it has a 2-liter in it. I mean, the displacement on this engine is the same as a lot of small cars. It does not have. I mean, my Husky was way faster than this bike on 0 to 60. A 450 would burn this bike, but you know, this bike's also 800 pounds. But it is a fun bike to ride. It's very, very low end torquey. It handles well. It was extreme. It was difficult for me to get used to riding any street bike. I will say my buddy Jim Boyd has a what is it? It's a Yamaha V-Star 900, I think. And that bike was actually really easy to ride. It was very, very responsive. Did what you wanted to do. It was very natural feeling coming off of a dirt bike. And then I got on this bike, and this bike is not that way. At least at first it wasn't. You have to really accentuate what you want it to do. But once I got used to it, I love it. And it's, fun to ride. Anyway, I just haven't put a video up for a while. We haven't put a video up for a while, so I wanted to put one up. I miss St. George. I'm going to miss St. George. I miss riding with Garrett and all my buddies down there. Miss riding with Tyler and those guys. But, you gotta go where life takes you and take the opportunities that present themselves, and especially if you feel like they're the right ones for you and your family. I will say this: I have really, really missed these mountains and all the greenery. It's just awesome being up here amongst green. St. George Desert is beautiful as well, but it's just nice to be back. So this is the first time I've actually taken this road. This is I can't remember what the name of this canyon is. But this is going up to Guardsman's Pass from Midway. My boy Logan actually took his car up here a few weeks ago, and he said it was a cool drive, so I thought I'd take it. But man, it's just pretty, and it's nice to go up. It's nice to ascend. Nice Sunday drive. Let's talk a little bit more about this bike. I would not recommend having your first street bike be a 2000cc motor. You know, but as long as you respect it and I don't know, it just depends on who you are. I'm a big guy, like I said. I didn't want to get on a bike that I looked big on, and I didn't want to get a bike that, and I wanted to get a bike that was heavy because I wanted to be able to, you know, take it on the freeway if I wanted to and not get blown over by a semi. I wanted it to feel planted, and I wanted my wife, Brenda, to be able to ride with me, and I wanted her to feel safe. And this is big enough of a platform that she feels pretty safe on it. I mean, she, you know, feel better on a Harley, one of those, or, you know, do they even make Gold Star or Gold Wings anymore? But those gold wing looking Harleys that have the big old back seat with the armrests and everything. You're basically sitting in a car, kind of. But you know, I wouldn't mind having one of those bikes, but when I was younger, when I was in my early 20s, I remember going to Pro Cycle in St. George and just staring at the Kawasaki Vulcans, because and the thing I loved about them almost the most was the rear fender on this sucker is just like, yeah, it's like 12 inches wide. And the rear tire is so big, and I just loved the way they looked. I mean, and this is a gorgeous color. It's a metallic baby blue. I want to say, I'm not sure, but I want to say that 2004 was the only year they came out with this color. But this was on the cover of some magazines when it came out, just for its beauty and for the 2000 cc's. 2000 cc's is, you know, I don't think it's the largest production made engine, but I think it was at the time. So pretty. It's got a 5-speed transmission, which is, you know, long enough legs for me. You know, I can go, in my opinion, you never want to go really faster than 80 or 90 on a street bike, even on the freeway, but it'll do that without feeling like you're wrapping it out. What else? It does have some. I bought it with a lot of aftermarket stuff. The guy that had it before me, you know, loved these tassely things. You know, again, I'm a newbie, so I don't know what they're called, but you know, but it has a lot of leather stuff, some fringe down, you know, around the sides. It's got nice. I don't know what they're called, but they're semi-hard. They look soft, leather saddlebags, but they're actually hard. They stay out, but they look soft, so they're kind of cool looking. You know, I think. Wow, that's a steep. That was a little steep little thing. I haven't never taken this bike on anything like this before, so this is all kind of new to me. Man, look at that view, guys. Look at that view. That is so pretty. Wow, I think this is going to become my new favorite. Take a quick ride on the bike drive. What else to say about the bike? It's fun to ride. I like it. You know, there's a few things I like about it. The ignition, you can put the key in and you take the key out. And I love these. These are aftermarket, but I love these. It's so nice to be able to store keys and wallet and sunglasses and stuff right there. Having that extra, and it looks cool too, but having that extra storage is nice. And I like that it has a fuel gauge. A lot of these bikes, a lot of these big street cruisers just have a dummy light that says, hey, you're low on fuel. It's kind of nice to actually have a gauge. You know, put this mount on for my phone, and I gave it a USB so I can charge stuff while I'm riding. But it's fun. We are riding in the first week of August right now. Whoa. Come on, Kraig. A little less looking at the scenery and a little more on the road. And even, I mean, you want to talk about change. So in St. George right now, right this second, I guarantee you it's close to 100 degrees. Even though it's, well, no, it's probably 105 right now, actually. It's noon. And this is cool. I mean, I got a jacket on and everything, and I'm just fine. I bet it's, I don't know, it's probably 78 degrees up here. In the Salt Lake Valley, it's probably closer to 90. It's probably mid-80s or high 80s, but wow, this is gorgeous. This is a great little ride. I'm gonna have to take Brenda up here. She's gonna love it. Wasatch Mountain State Park. I gotta learn all the places to ride up here. Dirt bikes. They have a lot more rules up here than St. George as far as you can ride here, you can't ride here, which is fine. I don't want to ride where I'm not supposed to, but sometimes it's hard to know. Garrett and I were up on this mountain here actually, a few weeks ago, like I said, and we're all riding along on this single track that we knew was good for dirt bikes, and because it had signs that posted. Then I got up close to Brighton or Solitude or one of those ski resort lifts, and the trail kept going, so we just kept going, and it obviously was not meant for dirt bikes after we went for a little while, and so we turned around and came back, but we didn't see the sign, and when we came back, it was very clear. Oh, there's the sign, no dirt bikes. But you're going 20 miles an hour, and you're worried about wrecking because you're on the single track that's technical, and you don't always look at signs as close as I guess you should. I saw the sign, and I remember it saying dirt bikes okay, but what it said actually was dirt bikes not okay. Anyway, we're coming back, and here's this hiker, this older lady hiking, and she just got her scowl on her face, and she kind of gave us the riot act a little bit, but we weren't trying to. Sorry. I apologize. As soon as we realized we made a mistake, we turned around, but she was quite upset with us. She did not believe that that it was an accident. And I get it. I get it. It's easy to stereotype. You see a guy on a dirt bike. You're out hiking and you love the beauty of nature and you love the silence and the serenity of it all. And here comes these two guys on dirt bikes, and they're, and it's easy to stereotype. These guys are hoodlums. There are a couple things about this bike I need to fix. Not really fix, but I've swapped out the brake fluids. So the brakes are better now. I don't know if you can hear that whine when I pull on the throttle. So this is belt driven, which in my opinion so far is my favorite drive on a street bike, at least on this style of street bike. You lose the least amount of horsepower through the drive system, and it's really reliable and relatively easy to fix. I mean, I don't have an extra belt with me, but I could buy an extra belt, stick it in my saddlebag, and if it broke, I could fix it, on the side of the road. So there's just a lot of things that I like about it. Oh, cool, you can go to Park City from up here. So Midway or Brighton. we just came from Brighton. Probably don't want to be going 50 miles around this corner. Seeing that it says 15. Anyway, if you listen, you can hear some chirping. That belt chirps, and from my research that I've done, that chirping comes from when the belt slides against the side of the pulley. It's rubbing against the pulley. So I don't know if I need to like it needs to be aligned so it's not rubbing, or if the pulley bearings need to be swapped out. I've checked the bearings, you know, like they tell you to grab the pulley and try to move it back and forth to see if it moves, to see if the bearings are tight, and it's tight. So I don't think I need new bearings, but I don't know. Anyway, I'll figure it out. That, and if I let go of the handlebars, they start shaking, and I don't know what that's from. Not that I let go of the handlebars often, but I think it's just the front wheel needs to be aligned. There's a guy, a bunch of people living out of there. Wow. Just came to the summit. That was kind of cool. Man, this is neat up here. So Brenda works in Park City. This would be a much longer commute for her, but she could actually take this if she was ever feeling like she wanted to see some more scenery. That's a cool looking brand new road. Where does it go? When you're on a street bike, you see a road like that and you're like, I want to go on that road. That looks very smooth.